Hi, everybody. Happy spring. Hope you're enjoying a long weekend, maybe even some spring break for some folks. This is just a short video to go over what we're going to be doing this week. So for this week, we're going to be focused on your literature circles. And I did put our discussion forum down here in this week's material, so hopefully it will be easy for you to find. And let's see what we're up to. So for your literature circles, I did put your literature circle plans in our Google Drive. If you haven't given that to me yet, the reason I want it, well, number one, you might forget, hey, what was I supposed to be doing this week? And then you can look and find out what you said you were going to do. So I put those there, and also that way I know when you're meeting, how you're meeting, what you're reading, and I can participate and kind of keep up with y'all. So please let me in on that. For this week, I am going to ask that you submit an exit ticket, and you can submit that via the discussion forum or via As You Learn. I guess the only reason, like, if you don't care to share your thoughts with everybody, you can submit it to As You Learn. But if you are fine and you want to post it on the discussion forum, then you can do that. You don't have to do both. Okay, so again, the discussion forum for, I'm sorry, let me scroll down here. Our discussion forum here for the literature circles, you can I put it up here so that you can share materials with each other. You might want to post your questions beforehand on here, or if you're having some of the weeks, you may have your discussion on the discussion forum rather than via Zoom. So that's what the forum is for. Like, for example, this week Susan shared some slides to illustrate some of her thoughts about the chapters they read in the girls' social class and literacy text. So thanks for doing that, Susan. And yeah, that's an excellent example of ways to use your discussion forum. All right. The other thing to focus on for this week and next week are actually conducting your interview and conducting your observations. So I want to make a couple of comments about that. First, if you haven't submitted your interview or observation proposal, or if you needed to revise it, please revise and submit that to me this week. Please give me at least 24 hours to look over your materials before you do the observation or interview so that I can give you feedback. Because it is a time-intensive assignment, I don't want you to feel like you're doing something and then have to redo it, because it is time-intensive for yourself and for the other people involved as well. So, couple of notes here. Please review these tip sheets prior to conducting your interview or your observation. If you are conducting an observation, really, take notes, not just about what people are saying, but where people are, what the environment is like, and see if you can pick up on any cultural norms that are instantiated in that setting. So that means looking at what kinds of behaviors are appropriate or inappropriate. Are there people who are permitted to participate in different activities but not in others? How are people using different kinds of tools or languages? Things like that. And as well as like what is actually happening. So there's kind of, with an observation, there's kind of a lot of layers actually to pay attention to. And so it can be challenging at first. I recommend taking pictures if you're permitted to. That helps you remember what was going on. I also recommend don't just go do the observation and then come home and watch Netflix. You want to come home and type up your field notes as soon as you possibly can so that you can fill in any details that you may have not gotten down into your scribblies. And that way you can have a more richer, thicker description of what occurred during your observation. Your notes, your observation notes, or your transcript for your interview are basically data that you're going to analyze and use to sort of compare and contrast and discuss some of the ideas that you learned through your literature review, and that is going to be the paper that you're going to develop. So we'll talk more about that when you meet with me. For your interview, please record the interview unless your participant is steadfastly against that. Just let them know, you know, this isn't, I'm going to record it so that I can take good notes, that I can pay attention to you while we're talking, and then I'll get everything right when I, you know, type up my notes, and then I'll get rid of the audio file after I'm done typing up my transcript. Make sure you use a pseudonym for your interview participant unless they are perfectly fine with you not doing so. So in the next couple of weeks, I would like to meet with you to talk about what you are learning from doing these activities. So please sign up to meet with me on my calendar, or you can email me. If you don't see a date that works for you on my calendar, just email me and let me know a date or two that could work for you, and we will schedule an appointment that way. Again, the purpose will be to talk about the connections you're making between what you learned through your observation or interview and what you learned through your annotated bibliography. And that's going to help you when you go to write your paper. So your paper is going to be an analysis of your observation or interview. It's going to include those notes, but it's not going to be just those notes. It's going to discuss what you learned and what connections you made to your literature review. So that's all, I believe, for me for this week. I look forward to hopefully participating with your literature circles this week. So, you know, let me in on when you're meeting if you're meeting via Zoom. Okay, ciao, y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.